15 easy. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Warehouse Cardcast. 16?
I lost count. I ran out of fingers.
16 Diddy 3. Cardcast 16 Diddy 3.
Yeah, something like that.
So, thank you all for being here. A lot has happened this week in the hobby that we want to address, and Mike said he really wanted to talk about baseball cards, and I think that's a great idea.
I like baseball.
You're good at it.
I like it.
No, you
I'm
know
not
a lot
very
about
good at
it. You know a lot about it.
We have fun with it.
You've done this before.
Yeah.
So, just wanted to take questions from you all about kind of the baseball card market coming up and kind of give our thoughts on, this is the time.
Yeah.
It's the end of January. Like, in my experience, baseball is on its way up.
It's your final chance to maybe get some stuff cheap for everybody's. Hopefully everybody is hot in March.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We have a CB and
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm not
everybody's
even
hot.
worried about that at all.
Yeah.
But once there's a bit of a jump in the middle of February when pitchers and catchers report and people get excited. But then it's 2 weeks of just no more baseball news. You just get to see those B rolls of people like trotting back and forth in the outfield in Florida. But then it's like 2 weeks of nothing, and then baseball starts, and then people start getting hot. Whoever's doing well in the first 4 at bats at spring training, and then that stuff peaks. And but right now we've got a month before pitchers and catchers report, 3 weeks or whatever it is. So this is probably the last couple of weeks where you can buy stuff cheap. I think. There's some guys that are already on the trend up, but you can still find some gems out there. I think.
Mike Trout stuff's still cheap
compared to what Trout and Acuna for sure. They're down just because they weren't on the field. So, cheap's relative. He's still the most expensive auto out there.
Cheap is relative.
Yeah, you can get an auto for $400, which before it was $600 to touch one. So, cheap is relative, but yeah, he's cheap like compared to what he was.
Recent tribute auto or something like that.
Yeah, something. Oh, like that Heritage auto we got was $450. That was previous years it'd be $600.
Huh.
So he's down 25%, but he didn't play for half.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
No, that I was looking up in the Bowman rookie, like the paper Bowman rookie, like 150 and draw. His update rookies come down a lot.
His Bowman Chrome. I've got a Bowman Chrome that's 300 that was 500.
Really?
Yeah. It was 500 like a year ago at this time, which a year ago at this time was the peak of everything.
The 11 Bowman Chrome?
Mm-hmm. The Bowman Chrome rookie, not the draft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you. The RC.
Number 175, yeah.
Yeah, that's the paper. The paper RC is the draft. One
yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's a good, if you think cards are going to be really good for 6 months and you think, that's a super safe buy because whenever he's on the field, he's the hottest guy in the sport.
Sure.
He hasn't had a bad season yet.
Yeah.
So, he's a good buy probably at this point.
For reference, what's the second highest Bowman paper RC? It's nowhere near $150.
No. Yeah, I would say maybe without thinking about too hard, Tatis maybe at 25 or 30.
That's what I was guessing.
Yeah, I would guess. Yeah. Soto doesn't have a paper, so Soto's kind of the second highest auto right now. I think. Acuna's are probably $20, something like that. So yeah, 5, 6, 7 times.
Yeah. So cheap's relative.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm just kind of letting things come to me. I'm not looking to spend because we've got a big card show coming up. So I'm not just really looking to buy a lot. I wish I was. And baseball's definitely like I would buy all the all the baseball I could get at decent prices,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, there's two ways I buy stuff. Like first, my goal is just to buy it all,
Mm-hmm.
and then figure it out later. Just get it cheap, buy it all, and then figure it out later. But if somebody comes up and asks and doesn't want to get rid of everything and asks, "What are you looking for?" Right now, my answer would be baseball. And basketball is going on, football playoffs are going on. But my answer would be baseball because that's where the deals are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's plenty of breakout guys. I mean, you can do your own research on the breakout guys. Like that's not what we do, but I mean, there's plenty. If you choose like you can choose right in this market and still not make money. Like one of my guys is Luis Robert, who's I think is a superstar. Um, but if you buy his 2020 stuff that was everywhere,
Yeah.
you're not going to make any money on it because I mean, even if he turns into Mike Trout, those cards aren't going to be worth a ton.
Sure.
Like you need to buy his 18 Bowman Chrome stuff, probably. I mean, so even if you pick the right guy and start bagging on, this guy's just a superstar and he's going to be a stud, you still got to pick the right card.
Yeah, I mean, even like, what's an Otani?
10, $15.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it was
so
25.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, I mean, Louis Robert, tops paper rookies, or even tops chrome
Hmm.
rookies. Like, there's what was it, 10,000 Gavin
Yeah.
Lux PSA
Yeah.
10s? Like, they printed a ton of
Yeah.
tops chrome in
And
2020,
everybody graded it that year. Because
and
that's
everybody graded it.
because all the new people that came in, that's what they were opening, and then they graded everything.
Yeah,
So there's probably close to the same amount of 2020 as 2019. I mean, there's probably 20% more or whatever. I mean, it's close, but everything got graded.
yeah.
There's not. I mean, people were doing 19 and Tatis and Eloy Jimenez and guys like that, Pete Alonso, but
Hmm.
there's not as many graded because almost everything that got open, at some point got looked at for grading.
It might look in the pop reports like there's more 19 and 18 now, but give it 6,
Yeah,
give it 12.
everything. Yeah, it's because I mean, a year like 2021 stuff. I don't remember when they shut down, but I mean, we're gonna get an influx of Christian Pache PSA 10 papers that are worth like $8.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a huge influx of that stuff.
yeah.
So we'll see. You got to pick the right card and the right guy, so it's got twice as hard now.
On that note, though, like, you know, if you're like a Louis Robert PSA 10 top chrome, I
It's
mean,
like $50 ish.
yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily see a big problem with that. I wouldn't
No.
buy that over the raw. I mean, I would buy it all,
Hmm.
like you said. Um, Sell the raw top chrome for $10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever it
I
is.
think the base. I think where the market is going now, if you follow like basketball, like when we talked earlier about earlier podcasts, I should say, of how the same card's going up and down. So the base will go down and the numbered stuff will go up.
Yeah.
If you can pick up a Luis Robert Sepia refractor, an X fractor, something like that, if you like him, I'm not just saying pick up him. I'm saying if you like that guy, then pick up a parallel. In this market right now, that's not what I would do.
Yeah.
But in this market right now, put your money in a one like like somewhat rare card if you're just gonna wait till he gets hot and then flip it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. With the caveat of like don't put all your eggs in the basket.
Sure.
Like if you
Yeah.
can't afford if you can only afford a Luis Robert Blue out of 150 or something
Yeah.
like that, like just get several different
Yeah.
players or
Sure.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
All that being understated,
Yeah.
understood, I guess. Yeah. Like that's just following trends in the market right now. I think because because I'm still I mean, guys that I like, guys, I'm not selling. I mean, I'm still not selling Vlad Jr. stuff. I mean, I
Yeah.
got plenty of it. I'm still not selling it. Um, when we get the stuff in order, like the 2020 is out being sorted right now, but when I get it back, I'm not selling Luis Roberts for $2 a card. I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
They don't need nothing.
Yeah.
He's just you put them back on the shelf, and when they're $10, you go get them.
Yeah.
So I'm buying all of them, keeping all of them, but
Now that said, the 2020-21 gold stuff, Topps gold stuff, I think cheap, considering there's no more of it than there
sure,
was the years before.
yeah, it follows the paper kind of. I mean, it shouldn't, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever the multiplier is. It's
Yeah.
the same multiplier for if you get a gold Tatis or a gold, it's the same multiplier on a base card when it really shouldn't be. I mean, it should be more in line with each other.
Yeah.
But there's 20% more, 30% more Roberts than Tatis just because it's 1 year difference. But
Yeah. What's an Alex Bregman gold versus his paper compared to a Bo Bichette gold? Like,
yeah,
if you want one, there's the same amount of them, or Aaron
that's
Judge.
a good like entry level numbered card.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend whatever it is. Bregman's probably 25 bucks or something.
Yeah.
Bichette. I mean, that's a good card to have. So
yeah. It's in like Topps Gold is iconic. I mean,
yeah,
it's it's limited supply. It's iconic. Checks a lot of boxes.
yeah, and that stuff's reasonable. Like everybody gets hot, so like for that 2 weeks, I mean, I'll sell a ton of baseball in February and early March. Like that will the guy starts out 0 for 12 and his average never gets above 300 again.
Yep.
Like if you're trying to maximize, like this is your last week to buy everything and get it ready to sell in mid February to March. If you want to just flip some stuff.
And that too, like I might be willing to pay 70 or 80% on baseball stuff right now, but a week before the season starts, paying 50
Mm-hmm.
because I know that stuff's coming down. It doesn't matter how well. I mean, there's some that'll go
Mm-hmm.
up, but I'm going to be looking at it differently because I know it's coming back down when
Yeah, there's only
the lead ups over the season.
whenever the person that takes off, that money's got to come from somewhere, and it's going to come from other people selling off. The guys that are doing poorly are just going to get cheaper because they're selling stuff off.
Sure.
So I don't know who that is. I can hear it.
I don't either.
Yeah. So like, it's a good time. I mean, you can do. There's plenty of guys, and I mean, you guys can come in and check it out and talk to me about who I like because it's different for. I got a new guy every day that I've looked into, or want to look into.
I think, like last year, talking about going in, like look at Anthony Rendon and DJ.
mm-hmm.
Like two guys that I thought, and I think a lot of people thought, were probably really good buys. They were still cheap, but they still had to have that big season.
I'll be right back, guys.
I'm gonna answer some comments. We got somebody knocking on the door. People should buy new cards or vintage cards. Dopey, I think you should buy what you like. We've talked about this before. There's not necessarily anything guaranteeing that new or vintage is going to go up 5 years. It's going to be higher than it is right now 5 years from now. So buy what you like. We like to protect ourselves by, consistently buying and selling. From a dealer's perspective, that's how you protect yourself from fluctuations in the market. So that's kind of what we like.
Comic Book Giant was out there.
Comic Book Giant. Comic Book Giant hasn't made his appearance on the Warehouse Cardcast.
Where do we leave off?
Badu, Riley Green, Mize, Scooball, Tariq Scooball.
Sounds like you're a Tigers fan.
Yeah, all right.
Anyone from lukewarm 21 and classic you're holding on? I mean, pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Um, and Pache, I don't think Pache's going to hit enough, but um, gosh, I really like a lot of those guys still. I mean, we're holding
Joey
everything.
Bart, baby.
Yeah, that's your
Joey
guy.
Bart, baby. I got like 150 of them now.
Yeah, that's your guy.
Buy them for a quarter and sell them for $1 and get rich.
I like Alec Baum.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be more of a breakout. I mean, I like the guys that a lot of people like. I mean, Jerry Kalenick's on everybody's list.
Yeah.
I think they put that. They just came out with another top 100 list, and they put Marcelo Mayer at like 4 or something.
He's
Yeah, in
18.
all of baseball, 19. Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe I just know what they look for, but I mean, I really like that guy, but there's no money to be made on now if he's
Right.
that. So, um,
Where they put Jason Dominguez?
on the bottom 100 list. Yeah, Kyle Tucker kind of already had a breakout,
He
but
did.
yeah,
I like Kyle Tucker. His stuff doesn't go for much anything
no.
right now. Um, you're right, but like there's so many. Seems like so many. There's so many players that I like in that 2021 class. That had good. Bobby Dahlbeck.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Dahlbeck was crushing the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Played well. Bobby
I like
Dahlbeck.
Dahlbeck a lot.
I mean, guys that have like solidified their starting role on these.
Mm-hmm.
If Mountcastle was on a different team and he played like he did in the second half of the season, he had a really good second half of the season.
His whole season was pretty.
Yeah.
Um,
Dahlbeck's on the Red Sox. Like I don't get that. Get why
he started off kind of slow, and then they bat him ninth, and then I mean he's got to earn his way back. I mean, there's several guys that get starting jobs. I mean, I don't know why Boba Fett's not more of a star.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably because he's already got a star, like a superstar on his team.
3 of them.
Yeah. Um. There's guys that are getting starting jobs, but they're not in the right places. Like, you Brendan Rodgers is probably going to replace Trevor Story at short. He's hit everywhere he's ever been.
Really?
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, who cares about Trevor Story even? And he's hit everywhere he's ever been.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys like that, but it's more about buying. I think it's you need to buy what you can buy, and then um, try to get try to pick out the guys that you want, and then try to get some of that stuff now the next 2 weeks. Like, um, everybody's gonna have their own guys. I mean, you could just Google breakout stars of 2022, and there's a list. Everybody got their own list. Um, I mean, right now you could probably buy like complete sets because and then you'd have 20 of each guy if you just want to do it that way, which is what I've done in the past. I remember 2010 Bowman Platinum had everybody in it. Had Mike Trout, at the time it was everybody. Freddie Freeman before his rookie, Jason Hayward rookie, Steven Strasburg rookie, Stanton rookies. So I just went in and bought 20 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it had 20 of everybody.
Yeah.
And they were, at the time, they were $15 a set. So for $300, I had, 20 of everybody. I mean, we still got some out of them out there. I mean, Garrett Cole was a USA card in there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some cool stuff in there, but I've still got the 20 Kobe Allards or whoever, I mean, you're going to miss on some of them, but you're going to have 20. I also had 20 Mike Trouts that paid for everything.
Colby Allard was from 2010.
I think so. I think he was in there.
I think his rookie card's from like 2020.
He had like a under 19 USA card or whatever.
Wow.
I know Garrett Cole was in the set.
I had no idea. I thought Colby Allard was like younger.
Maybe I'm thinking of another Braves player.
Maybe. I don't know. But
yeah.
That's interesting. That's a good different way to look at it.
I mean, it's not as good now because base cards on. Like if you went out and bought, if you found somebody that had a bunch of 2021 sets, I don't know where you'd find those.
Who would have that?
But if you bought 20 of those, it may not be the same as then but you could buy, instead of
eBay link down in the description.
If you
Topps Heritage sets too. Don't forget about those.
Yeah, we have some of those. You could go out and search for like, what I used to do is like go out and search for like, say, 2021 X Fractor, Topps Chrome X Fractor set missing 4 cards.
Yeah.
But it's 4 veterans and nobody cares about. So you would have one of every rookie card out of that set or something. One of them's gonna pop, or 2 of them are gonna pop. That's gonna pay for the thing. So I used to do it that way too. That takes the guesswork out of it.
And like everything that's not rookie, good dollar box. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they sell that stuff.
I don't know. I don't know what a next record set
or
sepia or yeah. You can find that stuff on there. Everything is on eBay, right?
Right. Everything. Or whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
We started doing our whatnot shows. So, follow the warehouse, all one word, on whatnot. Should follow us.
Yeah.
We're gonna be selling all kinds of stuff. It's gonna get goofy. It's gonna get
it
weird.
Already is.
It's gonna get weird.
Our first show was soccer. That's goofy.
Yeah. It's gonna get weird. I like it. Sell sets. We can sell sets on there. We can sell. You can sell anything on there.
Yeah.
You just
15 seconds at a time.
You don't want to ship sets?
Yeah. I mean, we will. I don't do the shipping, so I don't care. But I gotta go home with the shipping department.
Remember those optic pulsar sets?
Mm-hmm.
Like auction off all the singles when they come out. They've got those special singles in there.
One at a time.
And whatever you end up left with, all the stuff like the $1 stuff.
Yeah.
That would be one way to do it. Whatnot set. Special rookie break. That. I like that. I like that idea. Pizza trade night at the warehouse.
They don't make enough pizza. I would eat it all. Yeah, he's Bobby Witt's on everybody's list. That's kind of the clinic. It's hard to pick. I mean, for 100% clarity, I was right on Vladimir Guerrero last year, so odds are whoever I say is going to be wrong this year. So, but I'm not picking. Bobby Witt's got to play like an all-star for his cards to say the same.
Yeah,
I mean that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
If you pick a guy, Bobby Witt, any of those guys, Adley Rushman, like it takes so much for a catcher. A catcher has to do so much stuff that's not good for his ball card prices.
Mm-hmm.
Like calling games and stuff, like all that takes so much mental effort that if his hitting, that's why there's not great hitting catchers.
They don't even care if they hit well.
Like but that doesn't help your card prices unless you're 15 years in, like Yachty, or 10 years in, like Salvi.
15 years in with the same team and like 2 World Series.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's probably just because he's an Oriole, but I don't see Rushman stuff. I like Rushman as a baseball player, but I don't like him as a card guy. He's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Even if he does great, the team's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good place. He's the number 1 prospect in all of baseball.
When you say Jared Kelenic, or anybody comes in here and start talking about Jared Kelenic, like my brain just turns off. It's not even an option. Like a guy like that everybody is big on, like everybody's favorite is, like, I don't even consider that an option. Like I'll buy it if it's with other stuff or whatever, but it does not interest me in the least. His success is priced in. That's the same with all those like younger guys. Like he has to come out and be huge.
Well, they think he's going to because, so his history is when he got he was a Met, so his prices were a little bit higher. And then he got traded to the Mariners, and his stuff dropped. And then he ended up, and he looked like he was going to be one of the top prospects in baseball, and he was. And then they called him up, and he went like 0 for 30,
Right.
or whatever. So it tanked. Like,
Yeah.
this was like, whatever that was, like May of last year,
Oh,
and
okay.
it just tanked.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember that.
So, I mean, I have an auto back there. I just put it away. Like it's literally a third of what it was a month ago after he goes over 30.
Yeah.
So, but now, I mean, the talent's still there. Like he's gonna have a good career. Like even like he's a guy that even if he misses, he'll be around 12, 15. Like Michael Brantley or somebody like he may never be a superstar, but that's the floor. But the ceiling is, Troutish. I mean,
so have his cards bounced back? Because he had a good end of the season.
Not really. Right? I mean, he had a good end of the season, but they haven't bounced back. I mean,
well, I do need to look at his stuff.
Yeah, like Topps updates you can buy for $2.
Apparently, I don't know everything. This is news.
I mean, that's why he's on everybody's list is because he's so low.
Cheap.
Yeah, now because he's on everybody's list, his prices are going.
Thought I knew about every cheap card.
It's Bowman Chrome. His Topps and Topps Heritage stuff and his rookie stuff is not moving, but it's like his 18 Bowman Chrome stuff. It's in draft too, so that helps.
Huh. Well, keep my eyes out.
You don't see too many 18 drafts coming, so or anywhere really, unless you're out there looking for them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it's not just me. Like you're able to keep up with everything. You're out front. You're constantly talking, constantly buying stuff, and you keep up with baseball really well. Like I'm constantly working with cards, but so much that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Like I'm back here, I'm making lists, sort cards, or doing something with cards, or if I'm at home, I'm doing something. But unless I'm pricing it to sell or whatever, like it's hard with the type of work that I'm doing to actually keep up where the prices are at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean it's something I'm doing every day because I have to because I'm buying it every day.
There's people on here, I guarantee you, that have a better idea or have kept better track of where prices are at and different stuff than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, you probably know right now.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's a heck of a compliment. But I am enjoying learning more about it.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Yeah, I know some stuff.
Stroke his ego.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, Luciano stunk it up last year, and he's still decent priced. It's prospecting is impossible because I remember going into a card shop when 2016 draft came out, and everybody was after this Nolan Gorman guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy, his numbers stink. Like he hit like 16 home runs and like 150, whatever the numbers were, in like rookie A ball. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why are people paying hundreds of dollars for his autograph right now?
Nolan Gorman?
Yeah.
Isn't he with the Cardinals?
The Cardinals, he's probably going to be the Cardinals starting second baseman.
Okay.
That was December of 16. It's 2022. Like 6 years later, we're still hoping that guy is going to be a good player this year. He hasn't even played yet.
Yeah.
Like you can't. People have lost money and made money on him for 6 years. Like good luck buying somebody and holding. It's 2022.
What's the guy's name who retired last week?
In baseball?
Your favorite player of all time.
Oh yeah. I forgot it now. He retired. I forgot. Travis Snyder.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I lost money on him overall, but I made money on the big card.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or on him overall, I shouldn't say. I lost money on the big. I said that backwards. I lost money on the big card, but probably made money overall.
Took a huge breath whenever he retired.
I did.
It's over.
It's like
It's
a
the end of
piece
an
of your
era.
childhood. It's like the. It's like you've. It's like the first dollar bill on the business wall had to be.
If you like, if you gave up on trying to pick who's the next top player, like I knew before I came here, but even after coming here, like you still think I think to a certain extent you still think somebody out there's got it figured out, and maybe somebody does.
Mm,
But if you can't pick a baseball prospect, or you can't pick them often enough to where it's something you want to do or you think is profitable for you, then I don't even consider it because I'll never have
well,
that
it's
type of.
more. It, it's more. I mean, I would love to do it. Like if I could, like if I didn't have, like the business side of it, like making sure the shelves are stocked with the right wax or like looking for that stuff. I would have my collection would consist of anything before 1975, any heritage card, and a bunch of prospect guys that I like.
Yeah,
That's I mean that's what I like to do. Like that's even though I do this every day for a living, I'd love to go look at true old sets or try to find the short prints of heritage and that stuff. So I would do that for sure, but it takes a lot of time to do it right. You can't
yeah.
just watch 15-minute YouTube video of some guy. I mean,
It's not all the eye test.
oh, I mean, there is a lot of eye test. Like you have to Google. Like as soon as I Googled Jason Dominguez's swing, I knew it was over. I was done. I was like, I am not holding anything of this guy ever.
Yeah,
So there is some of that. Like it's more about the eye test is going to eliminate guys for you. Than I mean, there are guys that you're just like, holy cow, that swing is going to play anywhere. You know.
yeah,
Um, I mean, a guy I didn't like so much because his swing was choppy was Freddie Freeman.
really.
Yeah. Um, and then there's guys like Aaron Judge that just totally changed their swing overnight. I
Yeah,
mean, he went from striking out 30% of the time to hit 50 home runs as a rookie.
I told you about who he got with, right?
Mm-mm.
That friggin' old dude out of Florida
Yeah.
who's on TikTok, who's
Oh, yeah,
coached his
yeah,
high
yeah.
school son, like learned how to like that's he's got Aaron Judge on there on a regular basis. Like
Yeah.
apparently that's who changed the swing.
Well, his swing needed changed.
Yeah,
He was 25 and not doing it yet, 24 and not doing it. So,
yeah,
I mean, Aaron Judge is like 14 months younger than Giancarlo Stanton.
yeah. And
Like
been
they're
in the league half as long.
first, their rookies are 7 years apart. So yeah, he needed something changed, or he wasn't going to be in the major.
And how did it take that long?
Probably stubbornness. He wants to be told that you're in AAA with the Yankees. You need to fully change something.
So what's the process? Like what do you go through if you're actually prospecting? I don't know. There's probably a lot of people that like to know. Like what do you look what's the steps you take? What do you look at first? What do you like how does that work?
It's just it's. I mean, it's a labor of love. So first of all, I would start out with like Baseball America will put out a top 30 list of each team.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, there's been years where I'll go through the top 30 list and just mark off guys that don't have cards.
Hmm.
So I don't even have to look at those guys. I mean, that's not as much of a big deal anymore. But so I got go through the top 30 guys, and then I used to compare like who would like I would compare top 30 lists for the same team. So I would go like 2020 top 30 and then 2021 top 30, and if there was a guy that jumped from like 28 to 4, I know that guy. I would look that guy over to make sure he had a good season, and then see if his stuff had moved at all.
Hmm.
And in the past when I did it, the stuff hadn't moved. I mean, you could pick that guy off all the time. If you found one of those guys, you can make some real money. Because if he would go from 28 to 4, then that means first of all he probably is liked in the he's super liked in the organization because he's making a lot of people look good.
Yeah.
Scouts, scouting directors, GMs, all that stuff. They're all looking good because either they drafted him or signed him. So he's going to get a shot. So I do that. I compare previous to current. To see if anybody's shot up. That's just to find like a shooting star type guy. But then I'll go through and see which guys have like, I'll mark off like Adley Rushman, Bobby Witt, like stuff guys I know I'm not gonna buy or guys I know enough about. Um, I'll mark them off the list, and then at the end you've got this list of, there's 900 players in that thing, but after you're done doing that, you've got it marked down to maybe 75. And it might be guys that are out. I mean, then you compare that list with like the top 100, and then what you're hoping for is that there's a guy on what you're really hoping for is a guy that shot up from the top, like in the 20s on a team to the top 5 of a team, but he's not in the top 100. That's the perfect guy to, and
he's 20 years old.
yeah, and he's in his ETA's 2022 whatever.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's the perfect scenario to get like there's guys that are, you know, I'm trying to remember like the last guy I found like that, but there's guys you just know are going to be Jason Hayward. I just knew was going to be a superstar, and he was for like the first 3. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
But his first season in the majors was like one of the best first seasons ever.
Yeah.
Um, there's just guys that you kind of have this feeling of like when I saw, it's reaching back a ways because he just won Manager of the Year. But when I saw Gabe Kapler hit, I was like, this guy looks like ballerina. Like he would swing off his front foot, and he just had this horrible swing, and it's like, that guy's marked off my list.
Is that so? Is he Max Kepler? Him and Max Kepler?
No,
No.
no. He won Manager of the Year for the Giants.
Okay.
So, anyways, I would come up with that list, and then I would start marking off guys like, mostly pitchers.
Pitchers.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I mean, they're just too. I mean, you could be right. I mean, there are pitchers that I like that have, like Casey. If you look at Casey Mize's numbers, he had a really good year. Yeah. And he was the number 1 overall pick. He's on a team that's on the come up, but nobody cares about stuff
Nobody
right
cares
now. Yeah,
all.
like some of his autos stuff does okay, but you could buy rookie cards for $1 or less. I mean, a quarter probably for Topps rookie cards.
I put up with some of his stuff. I don't even think it got a like. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, he might be somebody to put a little bit of money in.
He's built well too. He's not like
he was number 1 overall.
He doesn't look fragile, and I think that's a lot of the problem with pitchers, right? Is they're fragile.
Yeah, they're gonna be hurt.
Yeah.
When you see Strasburg come out, the breaking ball. I mean, the fastball moves so much. Dustin May.
Another Glasnow.
Yeah, Glasnow. Kerry Wood was the first guy. Like he struck out 20 guys in like whatever 4th start or whatever. Like, that guy's gonna need Tommy John eventually. Like you can't do that. Your arm can't do that.
Yeah.
So Dustin May was the same. That guy had a fastball that broke 3 feet. Like it's not even a fastball at that point. So he's gonna need, Dustin May's probably got the nastiest stuff, but he's gonna be hurt, eventually. So you just don't put money in this guy.
And you just mark out the pitcher.
Yeah, so now you're down to a list of about 40 guys.
Huh?
And then at that point, I'm literally Googling, trying to find them at bats, trying to find games of them playing. Like, when Carlos Correa is on the field, you can tell that he's a man amongst children in those minor league. Like, that's the guy I'm looking for. You can't tell that on a card. I mean, there's hardly ever any comparison, like, it's, I don't know if it's I hate to say it's a feeling thing, but you can just, there's guys you can just tell that are belong where there's they're
If
just
you've
ball players.
if you've done it enough,
If you've done it all,
it's intuition based on experience.
yeah, I guess.
If you've done it
Yeah.
enough.
Um, but you're even the best at this is gonna miss just as much as they hit, but hopefully one hit will take care of five misses. Hopefully, Um, there's just guys that you there's just guys that like there's a guy shooting up on the Blue Jays, the Marino, the catcher, and he's went from hardly anything to like the top 20 overall top 10 sometimes in overall baseball. I've never seen anything about him.
Is
Like,
MJ Melendez kind of like that?
yeah, I don't think we would know a lot about him if we weren't in Kansas City. He led baseball in minor league baseball in home run.
Yeah.
So, but he's still not getting a ton of love. I mean, he is here in Kansas City,
No, his
but
chromes are like $5,
yeah,
$10,
and
maybe.
autos are under 50.
Yeah.
So, um, I mean, he's a little older and he's also blocked.
He's
So,
a catcher.
yeah. I mean, they played him a little bit at third just because we don't have one.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. I mean, the Royals are gonna be fun to watch. But then, I mean, if you go to a baseball game in June and we're already out of it, but Salvi's the catcher, Melendez is at third, Witt's at short, Merrifield is second, Prado's at first. I'm gonna go watch that game.
Yeah.
So,
I found out today. Somebody messaged me and they said that the Royals. Yeah, the Royals play San Diego. The Royals play San Diego in July 22nd or something like that. It'd be a fun watch.
Yeah.
Be a fun watch.
Yeah, Tatis here in Kansas City.
Osborne comes back.
Yeah.
Machado.
C.J. Abrams.
Grisham.
That's one of my guys, by the way.
Cronenworth. C.J. Abrams, you
I'll
like
sneak
him?
it in, yeah.
I know I've heard a lot about him, but I just don't keep up with it. Like I'm just not on it.
I mean, he's one of those guys I was talking about where you just see him play. I mean, I'm not reinventing the wheel there. He's like the sixth pick in the draft. Like everybody likes him,
What?
So,
how big's your list when you're done? When you start buying cards, how big of a list do you have?
I mean, it depends. Every year is different, but I would say 8 to 15 into that range. Yeah.
And you want to have that many? I mean, do you want to have that many to kind of spread your eggs out?
Yeah, I'm never in when we're just buying one guy, even if I know it.
Yeah.
There's too much risk for me. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I literally haven't done it this way in 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, but that used to be. I mean, that used to be my nightly routine was digging through minor league stats, YouTube videos. Like back then, you had to dig. They weren't doing their own hype videos. Like you had to go and find what team he was on, then Google like July 13th, 2012, Arizona Rattlers, because he wasn't putting out hype videos for himself. Now we know Vladimir Guerrero's cousin Gabby, from the Dominican, and he's got his own channel that he's putting all his at bats on. Like it didn't used to be that way.
Yeah, from the
you
time
had
he's
to
14.
Look. Yeah,
or
but
something
that's.
like that,
I mean, you're kind of on the same page as everybody else. But it used to be, you had to dig for that stuff. I mean, MILB was a great. I mean, you could go back and watch games of certain teams. MinorLeagueBaseball.com or whatever. So you could, but it was I would say, I mean, 50 to 80 hours of in front of a computer or printing out lists and copying lists, comparing lists, and I mean it was more of a manual thing than it would be today probably. But I think a lot of people do that. Like I mean, I hope they do that if they're putting up videos of 15 guys to watch now. Otherwise you're just regurgitating the same stuff everybody else is.
I mean, there's a good chance they're just watching highlight clips and being like, "Oh, I like that guy." Looking at stats and watching highlight.
Yeah, it's a lot easier now to compare and contrast stuff like that. Yeah.
I think we should go through comments.
Okay.
And see where we're at.
We still haven't talked about marks.
We haven't talked about marks. We haven't talked about backyard breaks. I mean, gosh, it's like Logan Paul and BCC, marks, backyard breaks. I mean, people have been kind of saying things along those lines of like, man, it's like every week there's something happening.
Or the Dallas card show fiasco.
Oh yeah, Dallas card show. I forgot about that.
Hot Pokemon rookie card. I think Charizard rookie card 5.0 or 50.0 is out there.
Thoughts on Mookie Betts rookies? Mookie Betts rookies?
Mookie Betts, yeah.
I'm gonna do something because I feel like we're not completely in focus. So I'm just gonna do that. It doesn't help me feel better about it. That's fine. Yeah, Mookie's. I mean, obviously Mookie's priced in pretty well.
Yeah,
he's a big time star.
He had an off year.
He had an off year, but is it an off year because it's an off year? Is it an off year because like he's not big enough to put up the numbers he was consistently for the rest of his career?
I don't know. I mean, he's on a team where they don't need him to be this guy every night.
Yeah,
you know. So
that's true.
I mean, he had they can put that. They can put him. He could be in cruise control.
Yeah,
and they're still going to be in the playoffs.
Sure.
And that's kind of what he did last year. I mean, 265 or whatever he hit with whatever 20 some home runs. I didn't know what he finished up at, but he's a surefire Hall of Famer. There's other surefire Hall of Famers that aren't that expensive.
Yeah.
You know, if that's what you're looking for.
There's some that are like dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You know, Paul Goldschmidt's dirt cheap.
Right.
Like,
and he plays in a great city for baseball, and that has a huge fan base. I mean, he's out of Arizona now. So.
Yeah.
Every year he gets closer and closer. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's better buys than Mookie Betts.
Yeah, I would agree. His stuff's down from where it was a year ago, but so is everything else. Yeah. How many Alex Gordon rookies do you own? All of them. All of them. We own all of them.
Barry has a Bobby Witt PSA auto, and she doesn't even follow baseball.
Exactly.
Just keep watching the channel; you'll be fine.
Yeah, Alec Bohm went way down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes guys go down, and they could come back and be playing really well. I mean, Reese Roberts kind of like that. Like his cards haven't come back up yet. They were the hottest thing in base. Like
yeah, well, there's a lot. I think this is a new phenomenon. I might be wrong on this, but it definitely happened in the past. Like Alex Gordon in 06 was the hottest guy. I mean, not in Kansas City, in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had friends in the East Coast in New York buying Alex Gordon stuff. So he comes out, doesn't play well. He's on the Royals in 05. Like nobody was watching those games. And his stuff went down. So even when he came back up, those guys weren't going to get burned again by him.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of like, all right, I'm done with that guy type thing. And in 2020, everybody was on. I mean, Luis Robert carried product.
Yeah.
You know, if his rookie card was in there, I mean, it carried Topps Chrome Update, and it wasn't, and it's not even a true rookie card. Like it's the pro debut.
Yeah.
And it carried that product. That's how good he was, or that's how much he was thought of. So when he got hurt and then he didn't play all that well, like, you know, like I'm not gonna get burned by that guy again. I'm not, you know. So there's a little bit of that with him.
It can take years to regain that.
Yeah, or it never comes back, even if you're a good player.
Or it never comes back.
Yeah.
George Springer's one I was really disappointed.
You can be a really good ball player and be done in the hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys
be Hall
like
of
that.
Fame ball player.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. What do you think about people picking up Joe Burrow in the playoff run? Is this the peak of his market, assuming they don't keep winning?
The best time to sell Joe Burrow is 2 minutes before he gets knocked out of the playoffs. I mean, you can't time it like that, but that's um
You buy one on eBay right now, you won't get it before the next game's over.
yeah. I mean, buying Burrow now, unless he wins the Super Bowl, you're buying at the peak. So his stuff will take a dip, just like everybody will take a dip in the off.
Yeah.
Um, so if you're buying to hold for years and you think he's the next best thing, if he's the next, if he's the second best quarterback in the NFL next to Patrick Mahomes, then don't buy him right now.
Or if you're buying gambling that he goes to the Super Bowl, like those are the only like either you're buying to hold him forever and then just buy him 3 months from now.
Yeah, but buying to flip in 2 weeks is pretty risky.
Or you're buying like
It's been done before. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I really think it's
we'll know Saturday at 6 o'clock.
like I don't think it's a bad idea if you're gonna make a bet on the Super Bowl and then buy the opposing quarterback's rookie card, like equivalent rookie card as a hedge. I don't think that's a bad idea. But there's not a guarantee that if they
Yeah.
win the Super Bowl, his card goes up.
Yeah.
I mean, but when Mahomes lost, his card dropped. His prison break then dropped like 50% on. I think it was maybe it went from 15,000 to 12,000. Maybe it was 25%.
Yeah.
But it was like overnight.
Well, I think whoever wins the Bengals Titans game is going to be an underdog to whoever wins the Bills Chiefs game.
Yeah.
Even if Buffalo has to go to Tennessee, I still think that most people think the Bills are going to fight.
Yeah.
Even if they're not favorites, they may not be. But so the hedge would be. I mean, I even thought about this the first year the Chiefs made the playoffs, or the Super Bowl. Um, I really thought about. I really thought about putting like $2,000 on the Niners money line because that was going to be my hedge. Like if the Chiefs won, I was going to sell cards and autographed jerseys and all that stuff. And if they lost, then that 2 grand. I mean, so that 2 grand would turn into 4 grand. So I mean, I told several people asking, "What do you think about this idea?" But so I mean, hedging your bets isn't.
That actually makes a lot more sense in this business of where you're at. Like you have a lot.
This was before, like, I mean, when I projected my sales of those cars to be like 5.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'll put 2, and then I'm gonna profit 2 grand either way.
Yeah.
Or hopefully, I'm gonna profit like 3 to 4 grand one way and 2 grand this way, so I'll have profits one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the idea. I didn't end up doing it, and I'm glad they won.
The Niners win, maybe you don't make as much, but you still got the card.
Yeah, I've still got the cards. Yeah, I mean, the cards aren't gonna just tank. I mean, that was, there was still heat, even if who knows if they had lost the Super Bowl. But I mean, after they lost the Super Bowl with the Bucks, it was dead for there was like everybody had to cry for a month.
I really, playoff football's different. I have so much anxiety going into Chiefs games.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
I don't get that excited.
You don't get that excited about anything.
Just Travis Kelce touchdown.
Right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, you don't get very excited. There's just a hole in the floor back there from you jumping up and down. Carlos Delgado, Paul Molitor, Joe Carter, Roberto Alomar. Not worth it. Yeah.
Frankie's from Toronto.
Frankie! You think pitcher cards are undervalued? I would say no.
Even Hall of Famer guys. I mean, they're not undervalued. You have to be. I mean, Jacob DeGrom had the best season in the history of baseball going. Literally the best season in the history of baseball, and just done.
they're undervalued compared to, so they're less than a comparable hitter and position player. It doesn't matter. People don't pitch.
The risk is priced in.
They only play every 5 games.
There's a reason those guys are that way because, um, yeah, the risk is priced.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's not just modern. I mean, the best pitchers of all time don't go for as much as the best hitter.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. Jordan Alvarez, I like, but he's another one that, rookie of the year got hurt. People are burnt.
Yeah.
And he's on the Astros, even though he wasn't part of the team that got caught for cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Orange team bad. I heard somebody say that. Orange team bad. You think Willie Gay's going to play this week? Willie Gay got misdemeanor domestic assault.
Yeah. I bet he'll play.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't send it that fast, whatever it was.
So there was no physical assault from what I understand.
And that's what a misdemeanor means.
It's like he threw something and it hit a wall, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story.
But anyways, yeah. Why are the Chiefs only favored by 2? Oof. I'll let you take that.
I hope you're right. Last year we had the replay of the AFC title game on TV today, and I remember that game going in. I don't remember a lot about the game because I just watched the game. I wasn't watching it. Like when I watch a game, I want to watch the flow. Like I don't like going to like Chiefs watch party. It's just not fun. Like people talking and it's. I mean, I'll watch it with 1, 2, 3 guys, but I'm still gonna watch the game. Like I'd like to watch the flow of it. Um, you know, like it makes me feel like I know what's coming a little bit later. Like if they figured something out, or the way like the Chiefs, like in the preseason or the first, not the preseason, but in the previous part of the season, the first 4 or 5 games when they were 3 and 4 or whatever, like you could tell they were just killing themselves. Like if you watch those, like they're not a different team than they were like they were just making uncharacteristic mistakes and they just figured that out.
There were so many big things that were kind of hard to identify. Like it wasn't that we were missing 2 or 3 of our best defensive players. It's that we were missing 2 or 3 of our best defensive players who had the worst backups.
Yeah.
Like it's not like going from Legere Sneed to Daniel Sorensen is not the same as going from another player to a regular backup, a normal backup.
Like, I mean, as much as we care about it, those guys know before we do. Like they figured out, like they moved Chris Jones back inside. They just didn't have any other options, and it made it easy when they traded for Melvin Ingram. Okay, now we can move him back inside where he belongs. Like that's why we traded for him.
Oh my gosh,
it made all the difference in the world.
That play where Melvin Ingram that fumble is the coolest play ever.
Yeah,
he's just so came like a bullet.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, Josh Allen running the ball is scary. We need Willie Gay in that game.
We need some type of spy.
Yeah.
Whenever we played the Texans, the first year, 2018.
Yeah.
No, 19. Yeah, when we played the Texans in 19, Dorian O'Daniel was there. Yeah. For Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And it stopped Watson from running. Like it kept him in the pocket. Because no matter what happened, Dorian O'Daniel was 7 yards away from him.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where he went. He was 7, and he knew when he took off, he's going to get tackled, and he had to throw the ball, and that's how he came back. He made some mistakes, and so.
So who's that guy?
I hope it's Dorian O'Daniel. We still got him. I don't
know.
Really? I don't know why he doesn't play more.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted him instead of Sorensen the whole year.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be Bolton or Gay this time. I mean, those guys, they've been playing at least. As long as it's not Neiman, we're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen's a little bit bigger than Watson, so they probably put a linebacker on him. But yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not one to break down football, but I mean, if I can tell, I told my brother this one. I call him because he's a football coach. Like football. He played football, college football a little bit. Um, I call him and ask him, "Is this really like this is how you do it, right? Like you beat a cover two by running the ball, right? Like it's like I think I know this, but I don't know." And when I called him about the defense, it's like all those guys are playing out of position. We haven't had the full defense in the last 8 weeks. We have had that
Yeah,
stat they showed the first 7 weeks they were like the worst defense. In the last 9 or 11 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever it was, they were the best.
yeah,
I mean that hasn't changed.
yeah. And there's like the
Steelers had
defense.
zero chance.
The defense is one thing. The penalties that we had, the
Mm-hmm.
interception, the turnovers, the penalties.
Yeah, the turnovers you can clean up.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty quickly.
And then we got a new offensive line with 3 rookies that have never played.
Play together. Yeah.
Yeah, played together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They've
mean,
never played
played
NFL,
right.
in the NFL.
And they were, and this is what I don't know who said it, or it's probably a conglomerate of people, but Orlando Brown could be a great left tackle, but if he doesn't know what Peyton, or if he doesn't know what Patrick Mahomes' tendencies are, like Mahomes likes to get a shotgun and then drift back.
Mm-hmm.
If that edge rusher comes around and he just
Mm-hmm.
pushes him back like this,
Mm-hmm.
and creates a pocket for him, if Mahomes is back in the pocket, he's pushing him right into him.
Yep.
So they have to learn that, and it took a little while.
Yeah.
But Mahomes is not getting dirty. He's those deep plays downfield where he'll roll out to the right and then throw back to the left and everybody's open. Those are coming back, and they have for a while. I think I had 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. It didn't really even look.
Yeah.
So
it's been exciting.
yeah,
Let's see it keep going. I
we
want to
need
see it keep
we need at
going.
least 3 more games.
Yeah. I don't want to see a Kansas City. I don't want to see a Kansas City without the Chiefs. I want to see a playoff.
Yeah, everybody. Theodore said, "Don't get too many subscribers because you will be invaded by other content creators." So everybody, go unsubscribe.
Please. We've been trying to get canceled the whole time.
Go unsubscribe. If you have subscribed, please unsubscribe.
Like, why can't we appeal to?
Why would anybody
culture?
listen to us?
Like, where are all our cancel culture people? Where are all our exennials or whatever? Please cancel us. I'm sure we've said something worthy of it.
Frankie Wise guy. Question about the Dallas card show theft. How do you guys think that the promoter handled that situation? In my opinion, what he did was forcible confinement and should be charged. Agree? Question mark. That came up.
I don't actually know what went on there. I know somebody stole a card. The cops came and arrested the guy. That's all.
There was a guy tried to pass off a fake Jordan slab.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what card it was. But it was a fake Jordan slab worth, I think, around $4,000. But it was at the trade night. It wasn't at the card show. So after the card show on Friday night, they rent another ballroom or whatever and have a trade night.
Sure.
Well, apparently, and I just saw a video today about it. Apparently, he learned that there was a fake card being traded and just shut the doors, locked everybody in, and wouldn't let them out until the cops came.
Can't do that.
So, if he's charged, I don't know. The first time I've heard him that it's. I mean, first of all, that sounds so Texas to me.
Yeah.
Like Texas Rangers crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
there's so many liabilities for doing something like that.
I mean, I don't know. He could tell everybody not to leave, but anybody, like anybody could have left. I'm sure. Like they're not going to forcibly stop you from leaving.
Yeah.
Unless they lock the door.
You just forcibly held everyone in there that wasn't guilty of a crime, or guilty of anything.
But the only I don't. I think everybody in there was voluntarily there except the guy that traded the card. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you
Oh, the guy that traded the card's the only one that wanted to leave.
yeah, right. Everybody else wanted to figure out who it was.
Yeah,
You know,
gotcha.
he's walk the video I saw, he was walking up and down the aisles like explaining what he was doing. It was like and then the cops come in and they find the guy that did traded the card and he's like, so I don't know exactly.
So if that's the case, he probably is fine because, like,
I don't think he's going to be
I think
charged.
that's something somebody would have to
Someone would have to press charges,
or
right?
sue him
Mm-hmm.
personally. Yeah, have to press charges or sue him personally. If it's
Allegedly. We don't know
allegedly,
anything that we're talking about, but
and
allegedly.
if it's only the guy that
Yeah.
was arrested, then he's good.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah. So I think we should try to hit on. I don't want this to go all night, um, but I'm here. I'm here
Nobody else does
here
either.
at your leisure. They shouldn't. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think the main news story we want to talk about was Mark's cards, right? Because we had Mark's cards and we had the, the backyard breaks thing, the
Yeah.
Dallas theft, and um,
We kind of covered the
we
Pokemon last show.
we were trying to watch Ryan's announcement about it. Um, I mean, of course, like he's working really diligently to try. He might already have gotten something figured out. I don't know exactly. When I we that's what we were doing before we came on air was trying to get the video watched, and it's like 20 minutes, and so we weren't able to gather all the stuff. But Mark's cards was a basically a middleman that Ryan was using to deliver PSA. He would ship People would ship cards to him. He would send them to Mark's Cards.
Mm-hmm.
Mark's Cards lives in LA, and he would hand basically to PSA along with a lot of
right. So today, I believe it was today, all of Mark's Card's social media just had a thing that says we're no longer accepting cards or doing submissions. Thanks for your business or something like that. And so, from what I read and heard, and it was very secondhand probably because I don't think he's come out and said anything. I think what happened is he took so what so if you submit with those guys, they take payment up front, like but PSA doesn't take payment until the cards are graded. So literally, those guys had that money for a year on a lot of that stuff. And it looks to me like that guy took that money as an investment, and I think he opened a card shop. I'm not 100% sure on that, but what I heard is that he opened a shop, did some other investment stuff. Long story short, when those cards came up to get graded, he didn't have the money to do it. He didn't have the money to pay for them. So when that happens, PSA puts a hold on it. It's like an accounting hold or something like that, and they're just stuck in limbo until you can pay for it. So the number that was put out there, he's doing that. He's doing that for several card shops. He's doing that for several group submitters. So the number out there was he owed PSA $1 million to get those cards out of there. So he doesn't have it. I mean, there's not. I mean, you're either gonna to get your cards back, you're gonna have to figure out a way to prove that they're yours. So if you submit and you give them to somebody, and then that person submits them to them, and then that person submits them to PSA, somehow you've got a 4-channel deal, and you've got to prove those cards are yours, and then convince PSA to take those out of that order and give them to you. I mean, it's going to be next to impossible to get your cards. You're going to have everybody from that order pay for their order.
There's no individual getting their cards
Right.
back without them figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Ryan will do everything he can in his, including selling his business or whatever to get people cards. But that never should. Like, no one knew he was doing that. No one sending him their cards knew he was sending them to somebody else. and exposing himself to that type of liability.
Yeah, I don't know if or not. I don't.
I've,
I
I've
don't know.
submitted with I never would have thought that,
Mm-hmm.
because why would you put yourself, like, you're putting your financial life in someone's hands. You're entrusting him with hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, yes. I mean, there was. He even said in the start of that video that there was cards that were 6 figures. I don't know why those weren't sent through the 300 or the Super Express,
Did he say that, or did he say
or did he have 6 figures
it
worth
was
of?
in the six figures
Oh,
worth submission?
I see.
Yeah.
Um, I don't understand. I don't know who's submitting. Um, it's so easy to do it yourself.
Yeah. It is really.
I mean, just
They had better rates,
yeah, but save the $3 a card. You know, like
but they had like a lot better rates on certain.
yeah. I mean, now they're double those. If you want
No,
your
no, no,
cards
no,
back.
no, no, no. Ryan.
No, now it's $12. If you paid $12 a card, now it's $24 a card to get your cards back.
Yeah.
Just do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
People should be doing it themselves. It's easy. It takes like 5 minutes. Doing a YouTube video. I think there's a lot of people like having nice things. They don't necessarily like doing work to get
Yeah.
doing any
Yeah.
work. Unfortunately, that is the world we live in. Like it
Yeah.
or not. Like it or not, that's.
I mean, I don't know that. I mean, maybe this guy was like a super big. Because I know people that submit a lot of stuff, like have their own, like have the not an inside man, but have their own agent at PSA.
Yeah.
I mean, the account director or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you submit it through that guy. I mean, Ryan didn't start a year ago. Ryan wasn't as big as he is now. So maybe he just thought I can get them back faster, or I can make more money by sending to him because he can submit them, and we can both make. I mean, it's justifying the reason he's doing that, but still, it's like you're hoping to you're hoping to provide your customers with a faster service at a cheaper price. I mean, that's what makes you stand out.
That's what you're hoping.
Yeah, and maybe that's where this guy came in. But
There's no. If it's me, like, that's a no brainer. Like, no, I would never do that.
you know, hopefully, I mean, I know Ryan has uh, enough good faith in the hobby that it's not going to end him.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's probably gonna end up costing him a lot of money.
Me and my sister were talking. It's like he's got enough groups. He could, like, I mean that in a good way, but he does. He has a lot of fanboys that and girls that he could do a GoFundMe probably and raise $1,000. Maybe
Yeah.
not that much, but he could raise a lot.
He's
of
gonna
money.
have a lot of people that just say, "I want my cards back. Here's the submission fees." Because I mean, this whole thing shows that it's not really his like directly his fault that it's happening. You know.
Yeah.
From the video that we saw, he tried to get like he was gonna pay the 120,000 again to get all of his subs back, but he just wanted some type of assurance that he was going to get that money back from them eventually, from Mark's cards eventually, and they couldn't come to an agreement to that.
I mean, well, the key there was they wanted a personal promissory, so like that takes the business out of it. So right now, that money, the business is liable.
He's gonna file bankruptcy and be done.
Files bankruptcy, he's done. They wanted personal protection,
and that guy's not gonna come through that.
No, nobody's lawyer is gonna. They're not going to allow that.
Yeah.
Like no. You can just shut down tomorrow, and then you're not on the hook for that double fee.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hi, it's me, Erica. Hello, Erica. Hello, Erica.
No way I'm sending my cards to a stranger, depending on them to send my cards and keep them. Hard time proving it for years.
I've sent cards through Ryan, but there's no way I'm sending like an amount of money to somebody else and just on their good faith that could wreck my life.
Oh, you mean the total you mean the total amount that Ryan is sending to that guy?
Total amount he's entrusting him with. Now I can understand in the early parts of it, he maybe didn't think it would ever come up to that amount. He didn't know PS2 would close. None of this was going to happen. But at some point, he had to know. He had to think about, hey, I've sent this guy $300,000 and he still got it.
Yeah.
He hasn't had to pay PSA yet. Like, what if he doesn't still got it? You know, like
Yeah, that's kind of hindsight, though. I mean, who saw this coming?
nobody,
Yeah.
nobody. But it just, yeah, it definitely is hindsight.
I would have kept
No.
it. If I was Ryan, I would have kept the money until the submission game, because
Yeah.
you know there's a way that he's not paying until they
Yeah.
come back. Like, why are you paying him if he's not paying?
Letting him ride on your money for all that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just, yeah. I mean, from what I understood, his margins were really good. Like BSA was giving him as a bulk group submitter really good prices compared to what he was charging fair rates. They were giving discounts.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you trying to shave an extra couple bucks off in an extra couple weeks?
Yeah.
You know? But
So he did end up paying the 120K, and Ryan was due the first payment this month, but he hasn't gotten anything yet. Yeah, we missed we didn't get through like the last 10-15 minutes of the video Ryan put out, so makes sense.
It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time. I hope the best for him. I mean, I'm sure he'll make it right, whatever it is.
Yeah, Ryan will be fine. He's got enough good faith. So,
What was there any other stuff you wanted to cover while we were in here?
no, I think that's it. I got to talk about baseball for an hour, so I'm good
Talk
for a while.
baseball?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, everybody, thank you for being here. Look up the warehouse, one word, on Whatnot if you want to check out some of our streams on there.
Yeah.
eBay link is down in the description.
eBay, Facebook, TikTok, MySpace. Unsubscribe so we don't have to do this anymore, please.
Yeah. If you go through Facebook, you can go to the other links. For those.
Tom's my only friend.
And that Facebook links. Tom's my only friend. What? What? Birds aren't real. All right. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. We'll see you later.